Madang UPNG students reconcile with MP. Panguna Mine landowners say ABG is legitimate. City police arrest brawl instigators.
This is National MTV News with Meriba Tulo.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us for Sunday's news. Madang students from the University of Papua New Guinea met with Madang Open member and Petroleum and Energy Minister Nixon Duban in a reconciliation ceremony yesterday. This follows the students' unrest that led to the termination of the 2016 academic year. Following the vote of no confidence against the current government and the subsequent return of Peter O'Neill as Prime Minister, the academic year has been restored. Rachel Shise with this report.
The Madang students of the University of Papua New Guinea apologized to the member for Madang, Nixon Duban, in a reconciliation gathering today.
Take this time to apologize for what we did during our awareness program.
In response, the Madang MP accepted the students' apology.
You owe it to your parents more than me as member. You're going to say sorry to your parents at some point in time, because you are the beacon of hope.
Duban said he had nothing against the students practicing their democratic rights, but they must follow proper procedures.
I got no issues with that. It's democracy. Let democracy prevail. But do not go on the streets. Do not engage with police. Police are police, you know. You don't think that police are going to come down easy on you. When you behave in a manner equivalent to a criminal, you're classified criminal.
He went on to state that the students don't understand what's happening in the bigger picture.
What the country is going through is a general issue. Banking issue, issues of conditions of concessional loans or government loans or debt to GDP, all of it, most of you don't know these things. You can claim, but I will tell you don't know.
The university's academic year resumes on the 5th of next month, and the Madang MP Nixon Duban says the government is ready.
So I stay on Friday, we will finish the police on the money, we will finish the school.
Duban presented 18 of 50 airline tickets to the students, with the remaining students to collect theirs on Monday and Tuesday next week to travel back to Port Moresby. Rachel Shise, National MTV News, Madang.
The national government will fund the construction of 2 bridges and the upgrade of Canoe Hospital in the North Fly district of Western Province. This was announced by Works and Implementation Minister Francis Awesa during a visit to the Western Province recently.
Works and Implementation Minister Francis Awesa visited the small town of Canoe this week to announce these 3 major projects for the Canoe people. The visit was purposely for Prime Minister Peter O'Neill. However, Minister Awesa attended on behalf of him.
Prime Minister is unable to make it because he must ensure the supplementary budget goes through.
For many who attended the program, their concern was to air the lack of consideration the government has shown, despite Canoe Mining contributing endlessly to the national purse. But Minister Awesa assured the Western people and the levels of government that the projects will be tendered and first phase of construction should commence.
We have to lift the profile of the interest of provinces like Western, which have been neglected for quite a long time.
An initial funding of 300 million kina will cover the construction of Ningarum Octedi Bridge, Dreamgas Fly River Bridge and the upgrade of Canoe District Hospital. While visiting the Canoe Health Facility, a local says health services have been poor, with people in rural areas being affected most.
That's down to administration, corporate, got all big man come down low, big line now, looking something explaining good now, bring themselves.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill will be visiting Canoe soon for the groundbreaking ceremony for the 3 projects. Jack Lapave Jr., National MTV News.
Meanwhile, landowners in the impacted area of Oktedi Mine welcomed the government's announcement of the 33% direct shareholding in the Oktedi Mine. President of Oktedi Mine Impacted Area Association, Nick Boone, made this statement following the announcement by Prime Minister Peter O'Neill. He said this will see the direct participation by landowners in deciding which projects can be funded through the 33% shares. Boone said for many years, mine villages have been left out in vital decision-making. He called on Western Province and the North Fly District Development Authority to work closely with landowners. You're watching National EMTV News. We'll be back with more stories after these messages. Welcome back to the news. Chinese firm Shandong Yanjing Industry is aiming to construct more than 100 homes for residents in Port Moresby. This follows a partnership with the national government through the National Housing Corporation for the Duran Housing Project. President of Shandong Yanjing, Rongchan Siu, told MTV they hope these houses will be a game changer for city residents in owning a house.
The Duran Housing Project is the latest housing scheme by the government through the National Housing Corporation and Chinese firm Yanjing Industry. For company owner and president of YJ Industry, the company not only aims at building better homes but affordable for middle-class citizens.
Actually, it is a manifestation of the government concern about the people's welfare, well-being.
3 types of houses are under construction. The 3-bedroom house, which will cost 350,000 kina, 4-bedroom 400,000 kina, and the 5-bedroom 450,000 kina. The Chinese firm says the houses are packaged with the land title allocated with.
We hope to create a model of township for PNG.
Engineers on site told MTV News these houses are standardized homes built with modern materials lasting a duration of over 100 years. This is the first project the Chinese contractor is building and has opened up dialogue with the Morobe provincial government for a similar project.
For our price, the same quality, actually compared with the same quality house from other developers, it equals to that. We give 70% discount.
With housing an issue faced by the government and other sectors annually, YJI Limited hopes to build better homes at affordable rates and giving Papua New Guineans the opportunity to own a house. Jack Lapave Jr., National MTV News.
Member for Tsuave, Weramori, has raised allegations of police corruption displayed by the Port Moresby-based Police Investigations Unit, or PIU. Mori claims that the PIU's conduct of investigations were biased and driven by political interests.
According to Police Minister Robert Atiyafa, Mori had lodged an initial complaint to the director of the National Fraud and Anti-Corruption Directorate after extensive audits uncovered evidence of massive fraud in which millions of kina belonging to the Tsuave District Administration was stolen under the leadership of the former MP. Mori claimed the acting fraud OIC at the time, Inspector Jerry Tomon, sanctioned the investigations and assigned Detective David Tawole from the fraud unit to investigate the case. While these investigations were ongoing, the former Tsuave MP lodged a complaint claiming that Tawale had received money from the Tsuave administration to conduct investigations and should be charged for corruption.
The police internal investigation unit do not even need to go to that extent. They could have asked me whether Tsuave district had assisted the policemen, the members from the National Fraud Squad. And I should simply said yes, because that the district was formally requested by the acting director then, Senior Inspector Jerry Tomon, for the Tsuave district to assist when and whenever logistical assistance is required by that investigation.
He alleged that Senior Constable Stanley Pogga conspired with the former MP in an attempt to disrupt investigations. It is alleged that a team of policemen from Mount Hagen raided the Chuave District Treasury by force after Treasury staff denied them access to files with a defected search warrant.
Cannot sit back and accept conduct of such policemen and their behavior to basically destroy what belongs to the people of Chuave. Secondly, to derail ongoing formally sanctioned investigations.
When Police Commissioner Gary Bucky was made aware of these issues in June this year, he ordered police to abstain from investigating these matters because of the allegations of bias and political interest linked to these cases. At present, there is a court order restraining police from arresting the current MP for his role in approving funds through the JDBPC for these investigations. Melissa Gaviro, National EMTV News.
The Panguna Mine landowners met with the autonomous Bougainville government and passed 3 resolutions relating to shares in Bougainville Copper Limited. Recently, the Prime Minister announced that 17.4% of BCL shares formerly held by Rio Tinto will go directly to landowners. However, following a meeting between ABG and landowners, the autonomous government claims it will now manage BCL shares. The ABG says resolutions passed by both parties took into account the spirit of the Bougainville Constitution and the Bougainville Peace Agreement.
The Bougainville Copper Limited 17.4 shares have been brought into light following a meeting between the autonomous Bougainville government with the Panguna Mine landowners. The autonomous Bougainville government official position is those shares are to go through the legitimate government, so they decide because the mine is everyone's business.
The landowners appreciate that the 17.4% shares are coming to Bougainville, but reject that they should be given directly to the landowners. Secondly, the landowners only passing resolution 2 or resolved also that the associations together with the Mekamui Government of Unity condemn Rio Tinto's decision to end its involvement in Bougainville without any way dealing with the serious environmental damage and social impacts and other legacy issues associated with the very profitable control of Panguna Mine operations. And thirdly, the associations and the Mekamui Government of Unity together fully support the initiatives by the ABG to build international pressure on Rio Tinto to take responsibility for the environmental, social, and other impacts of the Panguna Mine, and further call on Rio Tinto and Australia and PNG governments responsible for the approval of the establishing and the conditions under which the Panguna Mine operated to contribute to a fund to meet the cost of dealing with Panguna Mine environmental, social, and other impacts.
President Chief John Momis, while brushing aside recent statements by parliamentarians, called on the national government to respect the Bougainville Peace Agreement.
No matter who they are, have no right, and in PNG, the national government has no right to usurp the role of the ABG. Constitutionally, it is not possible. The Bougainville Peace Agreement.
Momis called on the national government to work together with the autonomous Bougainville government in moving the region forward. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister released a statement last week saying the national government will release the shares directly to the landowners. Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
The Intercity Cup Rugby League semi-final yesterday ended in violence after an official from the Hagen Eagles club punched the referee, triggering an all-out brawl. The fight was taken into the field of play, which spurred on spectators who joined in the commotion. This afternoon, 3 suspects were identified, with the instigator arrested and taken into custody at the Boroko police station.
These scenes were taken from the internet after the video went viral on social media. It was reported that the fight started right on full time after Mount Again Eagles went down to Egmagurias 1912 at the Sir John Guy Stadium. Here you can see the Eagles official threatening and then repeatedly punching the referee before hundreds of fans swarmed the field. Today, the suspect was apprehended and brought for questioning by police at the Boroko police station. Other 2 suspects are yet to be taken in for questioning.
They brought in the main instigator, which is a trainer, but and it was brought in and now it's been locked up at Waigani police station. More charges has to be laid against him after we get probably more statement from the witnesses, policemen, as well as referees and officers.
Meanwhile, the instigator will be locked up at Waigani police station, awaiting charges on Monday.
There were 3 suspects identified from the Again Eagles team. That's one is the trainer, and the other is the 2 players, which been identified also. We already told them to get contact with the management to bring them in.
Members of the general public, including international media, also expressed disgust over the incident and called responsible authorities to intervene and take drastic actions to prevent such behavior of team officials. Minister for Sports Justin Tichanko also took to social media, expressing his anger, saying primitive and uneducated action of the Hagen Eagles officials and supporters must be condemned at the highest level, and even considered banning the officials from participating in rugby league ever again. Shane Saroya, National MTV News.
You're with National MTV News. Trukai Sports is next. We'll have all the details after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. NCD Women's Hockey went into round 11 of matches yesterday. According to President Peter Molian, both the men's and women's divisions have 6 more rounds before the finals in October. Godwin Eki reports.
Port Moresby Hockey Association saw round 11 matches played today for the women's division. Each participating club will use the competition to make the selection for national championship. Meanwhile, 18 women have been selected to make the train-on squad for the PNG Games in Kimbe.
Everyone, the POM side is looking forward to the games. They'll start training next week and keep training until the end, till they travel.
Molian said with the new turf available, more and more teams from the corporate houses and communities around the city are encouraged to register their teams to boost the interest of hockey in Port Moresby, with the aim of extending the game to other centres. NCD Hockey Association has already selected 2 teams, both men's and women's, for the PNG Games, with 18 men's and women's squad plus 8 officials. Godwin Eki, National MTV Sports.
Chief Secretary to Government Ambassador Isaac Lupari launched the annual Canoe Race on the Aroma Coast in the Central Province on Friday. The competition is called the Peter O'Neill Cup. Ambassador Lupari announced on behalf of the Prime Minister that the Aroma Coast Canoe Race will now receive 100,000 kina each year.
Hundreds lined the Aroma Coast on Friday to witness the annual Aroma Coast Canoe Race, now known as the Peter O'Neill Cup. The Chief Secretary stood in for the Prime Minister, who was attending the National Prayer Day event. Ambassador Lupari said this occasion is not only a sporting event, but it also demonstrates the navigational skills and seafaring knowledge used by the people for many generations.
The Prime Minister has asked me, because it is my cup, he will continue to provide annual support of 100,000 each year for this competition.
He conveyed the Prime Minister's assurance of support for the event and congratulated the organizers for their tireless work in ensuring a successful competition day.
I was just talking to Sir Puga now that because it's part of our tradition, we should put this one in the national calendar. So it's a challenge for him and I to make sure that we do a cabinet submission to make sure that this is recognized, so it continues to support, government continues to support this event.
The event saw a good number of local canoe racers showcasing their skills on the water amidst challenging winds. Deli Waigeno, National EMTV Sports.
Central touch footy in the nation's capital today saw both men's and women's competition played in their respective divisions. Godwin Eki with this report.
Today saw the preliminary matches of both the men's and women's touch competition, all playing in their respective divisions from Junior Division, Open, Open Mix and Men's respectively. Tournament President Alice Kwarara said the competition has various youths from within the city.
We had about 12 clubs who were interested, and we carried down to 10 due to financial constraints, so just ended up with 10 clubs. Most of them are made up of, they come as far as Bomana, the Mosby South, which is Sabama Kaugere, and they come as far as Gerehu and Hohola. We look at juniors because they will be the next future open boys and girls players, and that's how we look at running the junior competition.
She said the Central Touch footy competition started in the 90s and has grown ever since. Central Touch is fully dependent on association and club fees to keep the tournaments rolling, while interested business houses are encouraged to support the code. The grand final matches are set to take place just after the Independence weekend. Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
And that ends Trukai Sports. We'll have for you the weather details for the next 24 hours when we come back.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
A quick look at the weather. In the southern region, Port Moresby a shower or two with a top temperature of 30. Similar weather in Daru. Thundery showers in Kerema. Evening showers in Alatau. Fine weather in Popondetta over the next 24 hours.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
And that's the news, sports and weather for today, Sunday the 28th of August 2016. On behalf of the EMTV News team, you have a safe working week. Good night.